Wait. Hello.
Will you marry me?
Yes.
In the midst of it all, I had to settle my friend. After all, Gloria was now married to OC and I was getting married to Yomi. It was just right that Toke should have someone to settle down with as well. With all the love and friendship in the air, I couldn't wait for my big day to come. Oyin Clegg was finally getting married.
Yomi? Yomi? Yomi?
Go in. He wants to see you.
Hello, welcome to another interesting episode on Trash It. We've got a full house today, and you should already know these people by now. But for those of you that are just joining us for the first time, you've got a Jike all the way from Lagos, Nigeria. You've got Sosa, you've got Sade, you've got Dami, and you've got Mr. Jagudantes. Okay, so the topic we're going to be trashing today is a movie on Netflix. It's a Nigerian movie on Netflix, by the way, and it's called Finding Hobby Part 1 and 2. So if you haven't seen it, go right on ahead and go and watch it. Make sure you subscribe as well. But anyway, I'm just going to give a summary of the movie. Okay, so there's a girl in the movie. She's over 35. She has a group of friends. They're desperately looking for someone to get married to. Long story short, okay, I'm really going to summarize it. Long story short, she meets this very, very rich, eligible bachelor, right? Everybody in Lagos are after him, like all the girls, single ladies, even some of the married ladies are after him. So anyway, him and this girl, they start dating, okay? And they get engaged. And on the night of their engagement party, okay, where they had a few friends over, the girl slept in the boy's house that night. And as she was walking past a room, she heard a noise. So she went to the door, opened the door, and lo and behold, she finds her fiance and another guy having sex, okay? So she was like in shock. She comes out of the room, and the guy her fiance was having sex with comes and calls her in and says, your fiance wants to see you. So the fiance literally says to her, okay, so you've seen it now. I'm not gay, I'm bi, okay? Bisexual, obviously, you all know what that means. Someone that can sleep with a man and a woman. So the guy says, I'm not gay, I'm bi. What you've seen today, you mustn't talk about it to anyone. You mustn't say anything about it. I'll do whatever you want me to do. And I want the marriage to still continue. All I want is a hair, okay? Because again, the family is very wealthy. So now, this is where we're going to start picking this movie apart one after the other. And we're going to relate it to our everyday life. Now, what the girl does next, she didn't give the boy an answer because she wanted to think about it. But now she goes off and tells her mother, tells her group of friends, and then tells her pastor. So I'm going to come to everybody in the room. Let's assume you found yourself in that situation. What would you do? Okay. Would you go about telling everyone, knowing what the proposal the guy has put on the table? So basically, the guy has said, the company you work in, I can buy the company so that you become you become like the owner of the company because you're going to be married to me anyway. Your children will be made for life. Anything you want, I will give it to you, okay? Anything money can buy that you want, I will give it to you. So as that girl, what would you do? Dami, let me come to you first of all. As that girl, what would you do? When you leave that room with all these promises, what are you going to do?
Why do you come to me first? Because I'm still thinking, to be honest. I don't know.
You're still thinking. Okay.
And I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be a disaster. So let me hear other people's opinion about it. Then I can come back. Yeah.
Okay, Sade, let me come to you. I know you're there sipping your wine and looking pretty. But let me come to you. What would you do on this occasion?
If that was me or what she should, no.
If that was you, if you were the girl, what would you do?
I mean, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? He's told you his preferences. These things happen. It's now left for you to say, can I live with that or I can't live with that? I'm not going to judge him with what he chooses. That's who he is. He likes to sleep with girls. He likes to sleep with boys. That's who he is. I actually felt like I can deal with him telling me before the wedding, and then we'll sit down, we'll talk about it. I'm a big girl, put on my big girl's pants and decide what would suit me. We'll negotiate, we'll discuss. You want to buy me a house, buy me the world. It's up to me at that time where my head is at. We all need to understand that wedding is not how it used to be in the olden days. It's not how we want it to be. It's not how our parents, they managed each other. It's not like, I know everybody would love it to be like, oh, love everlasting after whatever, but we've seen a lot. At least he's bi. You can sleep with him if you want. Some girls do twosomes. They like two guys. It's up to you what you want to do, what you can live with. The only problem I have with that girl in that movie is she wasn't sure she shouldn't tell his business about. I don't think that was right, because he told her in confidence. I mean, not like he told her in confidence. She stumbled upon the truth, right? But at least he's telling her, walk if you want to walk, but I would like rather you don't walk. I want you to come with me on this journey. Name your price. So now it's up to your conscience or what you can live with, what you want to do individually. We cannot say because Celia is not going to like my answer, then I will do what Celia is what I want. And if you're asking me as at today, oh, come on, we're going to get shit now. Let us sit down. We'll talk about it. As long as I can have my side piece, you can do what you want. She has to, I feel like she just, maybe that's how they wanted the movie to play out. I just think that we should all come out of this us and moral, whatever. Everybody doesn't think the same. Everybody won't do the same thing. People are doing it for free. They're not even having a billionaire offering them money or even the kind of life they would like to live. People generally abroad, a lot of people do, a lot of other people invite people into their marriages. So it's really up to us what we want to do. Where is your head at? What is it you want to do? For me right now, I'll get back to you on that answer.
Okay. What, Shade, would you go about telling your friends what you saw?
No, the wrong people is what she was telling. You don't tell your family member if you want to marry him. Now, if you don't want to marry him and you want people to, because you know in our society is unheard of. You know that is a coded thing. People do it, but they won't come out and say, okay, not everybody be like Bob Risky, you know. But overseas, this is how they live. They invite people in to spice up their marriage. And I've always said it that one man's not a man's poison. People like I was just flipping the table in my head. Like if it was two girls, a woman a husband catches her with, the guy might join in. Some guys will beg, shit, let me join in.
Yeah.
You never know where the guys are. Guys, they just think it's fun. They will join in and say, come on, okay, your friend want to join. They won't take it to that extreme. And the man probably won't tell anybody that his wife is giving him free thing to, you know, but we women will talk. Of course, all the people that she told would never tell her to go ahead with it. So then it comes to our fates. So we're all different. And the thing that irritated me with that man is he knows where to pick such girls. Why would you want a good girl to fit in that box? Go and find those type of girls that they would agree with you. You know where they are. So why we
wanted pedigree. He wanted pedigree.
That's the thing. And look at what happened. His business is everywhere. You know, they know this girl. I'm sure he's been doing it with other girls, but he wants to marry this proper girl from a good home that will give him an hair. And that's what's happened. So it's just everybody should set your conscience what you can live with at this stage. Sometimes people go into marriage and the man knows he can't do, it cannot even last 2 seconds. He would not tell you, he would tell you he doesn't want to touch you. He's trying to keep himself. You get in there, you're hooked. And then your friends will tell you, oh, you have to follow. I mean, take it like that. You know, that's what God wants you to do. And then you're stuck in there. You
start with toys.
When you cheat on him, people will tell you you're cheating on him. So marriage has changed. The dynamics has changed. I just think that people should communicate. I love the fact that he's speaking to her about it and telling her, this is what I would do. Some people won't give a damn and they will kill you when you find out.
Oh, yeah.
How about that? So there's many ways to look at these things. Just go with who you are, your conscience, and what you want to live with for the rest of your life, basically.
Okay, so Sade, for you go ahead with the marriage. You make sure things are drawn. You guys know where you both stand, and you won't tell anybody.
Yeah. I mean, she loved him. She was in love with him, even though it was he couldn't let him touch her anymore because he's not that kind of a girl. But a girl that probably do group sex and all that, she probably won't see a big deal with it. That's what I'm trying to say. So everybody is different the way we think. It's just your background that matters now.
Okay. Ajike, let me come to you on this. I know you haven't seen the movie, but we've had a chat about this already. I feel I kind of know what Ajike is going to say, but Ajike might just blow us out of the water. So Ajike, let's hear your views on this.
I can't blow you out of the water. For me, I just mind my business, and when it comes to people's sexuality, anything you want to do is your business. But I think for me, what I could take away from everything was how emotionally unintelligent she was.
Thank you.
She was very emotionally unintelligent. There are some things, it's not everything you see. you see. And we should learn to not speak fast. If she told, and according to my, at least the kind of mother I have, I can tell my mom that kind of thing, but not your friends. And I'm not saying I don't have friends that I can share things with, but there are certain friends I will not tell certain things. There are some friends, they are my ride or die, my for jungle. I may tell them, but not even immediately, because there are some things you really just have to process. Because for me, I like money. And money was inside this matter.
Yeah. Millions of it.
Millions was inside this matter. I know a lot of people will say, you know, if she married him and what's of her own life. You need to understand that everybody's marriage is different.
Exactly.
Some people would have, in fact, she would have married that guy, they will not even sleep with you, just do IVF or even surrogacy. One person will just have the baby for you, you keep your shape. It's not like me that I didn't have neck, I was black, I was ugly, everything, all the pregnancy just scatter your whole life, even till now, fat is still following me everywhere. I'm not all right, you know, so I would have just done everything, best, you know, just collect his sperm, collect my egg, let's have the baby. I'll be going from, you know, from yacht to yacht, country to country, anywhere I want, you understand? But she was, you know, we're out different, so people might not be able to do that.
Yeah.
So you might not, and we have to respect that also. We should respect that. But for me, I think she was just honestly emotionally unintelligent. And there are many emotionally unintelligent people around. There are many of them on WhatsApp. You'll be seeing them, I don't need you. If you don't need me, I don't say all those WhatsApp stories. So the one I just see people talking like that, I just laugh. I just say, oh, you don't have sense. But where? You have my WhatsApp number, so I must see this rubbish. I can't block everybody.
You know what? A lot of people, a lot of women are doing a lot of things that they don't say. You know, some people
say.
Oh,
a lot of marriages, you see all these people that will say, I can't take it.
They open their mouth more on social media, but you see them traveling abroad. Some they've turned them into panel beater at home. They beat them and they take them on holidays. They will never tell you that. They'll just tell you, oh yeah, I'm in Hawaii this weekend.
No, I can't wait to hear Jagwajan's point of view, but I'm sure it's something because you know, different people are doing different things. Yeah. I don't even know. I don't know what people are doing, but I've heard, and you know, I just know that this one is small now. Why did she behave like that? Well, that thank God is a fictional story. But if it's a real story, I'm going to flog her.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Sosa, let me come to you. I'm going to come to Mr. Jags last. Sosa, let me come to you. You've heard what Ajike has said. You heard what Shade has said. What's your take on this situation?
Yep. Yes, I heard what the lady said. And on this matter, when I saw it, in fact, the very day that I saw this movie, a bit of like, I was at my friend's place and we're just scrolling through Netflix. So the movie came up and I said, oh, you know, before then he asked me, he said, they were having a discussion and he said, oh, I was having a discussion with some of my friends and they said, a lady said, I would rather my husband cheat on me with a guy than with a lady. So they were giving different perspective. So they asked me about it. And I said, okay, I don't like cheating. It doesn't matter if there's money or whatever in it. Well, the aspect I didn't like is that he was actually cheating on her. That's one point. You know, it doesn't matter what his preference was. And then secondly, I like when it just opened up. Because I used to tell a lot of people, I said, things are not complicated. It's people that are.
Make it complicated.
Nothing that can never be unraveled if we see things and say, you know what, let me put a different chicken hat on and process this thing. Yeah. So when she said that, I said, well, I don't want you to cheat on me. If you come out in the open and say, this is my fantasy, I have my one as well. You might just be surprised that I like to see two guys have sex. That's my fantasy, which is fine. I'll just be, if I was the wife, I say, the Lord has answered my prayers. So,
yes.
We can all have this fun together, and everybody benefits from it. You know what I mean? So that understanding where people can sit down and say, okay, fine, what are we going to do? Is discussion, we will sit down, don't cheat on me, don't go behind my back. If it's a fantasy of yours, I have my one, we can work towards it. And I don't blame her for running her mouth because a situation like that is shocking. At first, when you don't ever have an idea in her head, she's already had this sweet idea, a church girl, everything, getting married, my friends probably are jealous of me, and then suddenly this happened out of the blues, you know. she was in shock. Well, I'm sure most of the things that she was saying, she didn't even know what she was going to do at that particular point, you know. So for us that we're all talking, like we all in this panel, we've seen life a lot of time, a lot of experiences. So when you know better, you think better, you do better, and you have wider perspective. You know, people have wider perspective when they've had life experiences, when you have traveled, and you've had a lot of shit happen to you, mind my language. When it happens to you, everything that you take in there changes your view. You know, when people say they have myopic mind, you know, are those people that just don't want to change their view no matter where they have been to. But if you are open to see life and you have traveled and you have seen experiences, seen things have happened, there's nothing that my dad would say there's nothing that have never happened in this life. It's just that we have not been able to experience or know someone that knows that thing that's never happened. So yeah, I just thought, I said, why are we both complicating issues? If she's agreed on it, if I was to be in her shoes, I would say, okay, fine. I would like that. Or if I don't want that, okay, what do you want me to do? I'm going to say that this is cheating. We have to treat that as cheating in the first place. So if you had told me, like, look at my preference, you know, I would like to have this outside my marriage. Is it something that you would like, you know, not doing it behind me and then I start confessing to me? That's the only place I had fault on the guy. And the girl, I felt like she was in shock and all that. So yeah, if I don't know what the question, but if I was in the case position, I would say, thank you for telling me. You're going to give me time to process it for a while, and I will come back and I will tell you what we can do about it. Because we say marriage is it used to be this so sacred, whatever they used to call it. It still is. Anyway, I'm not going to say that because everybody can have different definition of being sacred. When it comes with our modern society, where this whole world has carved us to be in, you know, there are some policies and there are moral compass that we used to use in the olden days that will not work for us now, you know. So what you just do is like, I like when people say it's an arrangement. People say, oh, no, it's an arrangement. Marriage, if you are smart enough to understand that marriage is an arrangement, and you work that out, financial arrangement, even domestic arrangement, everything has to actually be arranged. And then the love kind of have the dimension where it flows through. If you do not have that arrangement in place, it's like scaffolding a house. If you do not have that arrangement in place, say, I love this man, I want to marry him, it's going to crumble because love is not enough in a marriage. Those arrangements, all those solid arrangements where you know their sexual preference, you know what they're capable of doing, you know their fantasy, you know their financial, they also know your one. We are open, we are transparent. Let's have this arrangement solid. Is that what you are bringing to the table? And look at what I'm bringing to the table. Look at what I want. And then you see that people are going to have a longer marriage than what we're having now. You know, so that's my perspective.
Okay, that's an interesting. So what you're saying is your issue was the fact that he cheated. If he hadn't cheated, are you saying if he had come right up to you when you guys started dating and all of that and said to you, listen, I'm not necessarily straight, I'm bi, would you have still gone ahead with the relationship?
Great. But for me, if he had come to me and say I'm bi, yeah, as at now, maybe some years back, I would have said, what's the meaning of that? I'm not going to put up that. But at now, if you had come to me as I'm bi, what are we? And I'll ask him, can you actually be faithful to me, or you want to have swings at some point? And then if he said, yeah, okay, fine, I'm not going to give him permission to do it. But if there's an arrangement and I'm able to put up with that, I want to know what he's doing. You know, as much as he will want to know what I am doing. My one might not be able to swing before. I said, okay, fine. If you give, it's give and take. You know, it might just be something else that I want in return. If you want to,
for example,
yeah. So if that discussion is what about, and it has to do with understanding each other and know what they are. You cannot bring a church girl, like Chadi said. You cannot bring a church girl and be discussing something like that with them. They have no clue what you're talking about. You are the devil, and they just cancel you once and for all. But if you know that it's a partner, it's like me. Even now, Celia, as we all are right now, there are some discussion that you discuss with some people, and there are some discussion you will not discuss. It's not because you don't like those people, but just because you don't, their perspective is not broad enough, and you don't know what their ideas. They might just look at you and label you, you know, because they don't know. So if you have, I've got some of my friends. I'm telling you, if you tell them that I just like this, they will value their life. No. But I like it. They don't know that part about me. What would they know? Because they don't even have an idea. Even if they know, they don't know what it means to be that. You know what I mean? So if you know your partner, which is courtship, you know, you have to discuss sex. Sex is the number one. Finance and sex is very important in marriage. You have to be very open and say everybody have their fantasy, no matter how. You know, some people say they like Papa and Mama one. It's a lie because they don't really know their body enough to explore and say, okay, this is what I want. So if you have a partner that you are courting and you are dating the person, and you know that the person is open with stuff like that, those are discussions that you should bring up. And if you come to me and say that to someone like me, what I know now, yeah, we can actually do that. It's very easy, you know. So
Okay.
And so
Okay.
sad for president.
I know, right? I know a lot of men are gonna love that. Okay, well, Dami, let me come to you because I want to come to Mr. Jags real quick because I know he has a lot to unleash. But Dami, let me come to you real quick. Now, everybody has spoken on here, enough everybody. What is your take on this?
To be honest, it's quite deep for me, and I don't think personally, I'm not being religious or something. I don't think I'm going to take it lightly. I don't know. I don't know. I don't believe in those kind of. I don't believe in those kind of things. Not because I'm too religious or something. Do you understand what I mean? But I don't think. I don't know. I've never experienced it before. I see it on movies. I hear it on social media. But if it's me personally, to be honest, I don't think I'm gonna take it lightly. I don't know.
So would you go to your pastor, go to your mom, go to your friend, and just tell everybody?
I think at that moment I'll be so confused. I think at that moment I want to talk to someone. I think at that moment I'll be so disturbed, and I won't be able to trust them. Although yes, it's good to speak up. Yes, he did, but I don't know. Maybe perhaps my orientation about things like that, Bobrisky and them lots. I don't think I fancy things like that. And even you're rich, I know we like money, but obviously you can make your money yourself too. And I don't think I will go because of the money. Yeah, we're quite different and we love money as women. Yeah. But I don't know, because the way my brain works, I don't think I would trust him to stay with him or to live with him. And I think I will tell my parents.
Okay.
Yeah.
Already.
What do you say?
You're owing then.
I'm what?
You're owing.
You're the girl, yeah.
You're the girl. Basically, you're the girl.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Was confused. She told her parents, to the pastor.
Yeah, honestly, I'll be at that moment, I'll be chaotic. I'll be confused.
Yeah.
I don't think I would trust you again. And I don't think I can live with that kind of person. We love money. I love money, but because I won't stay in that because of money, because I'll be traumatized.
Okay.
So what if
You don't love money.
Let me just ask, what if it was a girl that he slept with? And
I was about to say that now.
Yeah.
I don't believe in cheating, then I won't trust you.
Yeah, okay.
I won't trust you. I won't even trust you to live with you.
Is that I hear you, and once upon a time I probably was like you, but life sets in and reality came up.
Yeah,
the thing
but that doesn't mean, trust me, that doesn't mean I'm not going to. That doesn't mean.
What I was going to say is, I wanted to flip it. Like, there's some men that they have women that they've known that they're in love with, and they're going to marry you. That woman she might not be accepted in the society or in their clique, so they decide to pick somebody else that their family would accept, or maybe like a kind of arranged thing, or maybe he might even be in love with you. But there's this girl by the side that he loves that he's not ready to give. Some will tell you, some will tell you, some will let you know. And we know of girls that will like, sorry, that's cheating, like you, Dami, I'm not doing this. This is rubbish. I'm not going to do that. That's because of the girl. And then some people will be like, what's my business? I can't, as long as it's not bringing it to my face.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've got one or two of my friends that
he was a she. That's my question. If you didn't know about that.
I've got few of my friends, that will say, oh, if my guy cheats, as long as he gives me money, I don't mind. Yeah. I'm not in that boat.
That category, right?
I'm not. As long as if you like, go, come back 1 month, just say to me, book me holiday, this and that, I'm fine. The way my brain works, I can't relate. I'm just too one way. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm not too exposed. Maybe I'm underexposed.
No,
I don't know.
I respect that. Of course, cheating is very, very devastating because some ladies, my brain works like my brain sends signal downstairs, but some guys downstairs sending that to the brain. My one works from up down. If my brain doesn't click, That's why if I have a friend or a guy or husband that was mean to me, I want to have sex, no matter how, I won't even be horny. I don't care. I cannot, I will stay with you 1 year. I don't even feel like having anything because in my brain, you'll not be kind to me. So my brain is not sending signal down and nothing's moving from here down. So I can understand that cheating is bad, but what we mean, the arrangement is what we're talking about. If we know that this is arrangement, swinging or once in a while, it can go, it's just a matter of switching your head, the gear, and okay, you know what? He's doing this and that's fine, that's who he is. I'm understanding that with him. Then it's not cheating because you are aware. You know, it's another, like what did Will Smith's wife said? An entanglement.
Open situation, entanglement. But what I was trying to say is like, I think I've forgotten. There are different situations, right? And there are different stages. I'm sure like 15, 16 years ago, when I haven't tasted anything, when my idea of marriage is, like, you're not exposed, then you're not experienced, you haven't seen life. It's probably like you wish everything would end. So I think different stages. Right now, most people in their 50s, their 40s, they look at companionship. They might even say love, but they just want to have friends, somebody that can share things together, live together. Some people don't even want kids anymore. But that girl, the stage she's in is to have children, to do love with her husband. So I can understand that was the least of what she's thinking. So when you ask different age group of women, we will tell you different things. That's basically what I was going to say.
Okay. Thank you, Shade, for that. And thanks, Dami, for that. Mr. Jax, let me come to you. So I know you run a page on Instagram and you probably hear a lot of stories like this. What, in this scenario, the offer the guy made to the girl, do you think she should have kept stum and not said anything and thought about it before going around and telling everybody what she saw?
Well, it's a matter of choice. It's a matter of choice. Either she tells people or she keeps it to herself. She was still gonna do whatever she would do anyway. And the issue is she herself, she had longer throat in the movie. She had indecision. Apart from the fact that her friends were telling her what to do, she herself wanted to do what she was going to do because she had the chance to go with another guy, but she was using the gay guy to flaunt to the guy saying, oh, I'm never going to date you. I have a better guy. But in her heart of hearts, she was crying. That's how people live with blemishes, stains, wounds in their marriage. And we Africans, most especially we Nigerians, we live in denial a lot. Ghanaians are better than us. They live their life. We Nigerians, we live in denial. If our husband likes it this way, we don't want to accept it. And then we'll be suffering in silence because of what the society will say. Meanwhile, we want something else. Your husband, this is what he wants. So he goes somewhere where he can be real. He enjoys his fantasy there. He and the girl, they smoke, they laugh, they, chase each other around the house, but he comes back home to daddy's girl that the daddy wants him to marry. So these things will keep on letting us hear about so many cracked marriages on social media. And this is not new. I know a lot of people in Nigeria who are like this, and there are so many girls in Nigeria right now, they are even looking for people like this. They don't care whether you sleep with a man or cow or dog. They just want to cry in luxury than smile inside downfall. What are we saying? What are we even saying? There is a good example right here. Daddy Freeze. Daddy Freeze's new wife, the girl that he's with right now, was in a marriage for 11 years. Okay. And she said in an interview that she caught her husband with his best friend. They were having sex in the living room. When you wake up at night and you're just, feeling funny, you just want to go to the fridge to go and grab a drink or something. Maybe they were watching ball, they slept over there. You, as the woman, you don't have any interest in sport. You just put the kids to bed, go to room, and then in the middle of the night, around 12, you just stood up, walked straight into the living room on your way to the kitchen, and you see your husband grinding another man in the ass. That is where problems started. So she was now piecing 1 and 1 together to become 11. No wonder this guy, anytime we're having sex, is because we want to have kids. If we're not having kids, it's never really pulling me. When other husbands will pull their wife in the passage, pull her in the kitchen, see your yash, all those things, see Bobby, all those prank you play in the house. They don't do it. So, okay, there is a big echelon in Lagos. One of the biggest. If you count 5 people in Lagos, you will count this man. There was a friend of ours that we went to school together that is on that side too, and was moving towards marrying that man's daughter. The man blocked the marriage. The man blocked the relationship, you know. And this is a guy that when we were in school, he was always doing like, Akia, oh, Badun, you know, these their characters. It was all over him. All his friends were girls. Though we were close friends, but his best friends were girls at the time. He was always in the circle of girls. And I had this kind of relationship with him where I know that as long as he doesn't spoon feed me or try to force it down my throat, he can be whoever he wants to be, whoever I wanted to be at the time as well. But we didn't understand what being gay was. We just thought that was his character until we ran into each other in Soho. I ran into him in Soho and he was dressed from head to toe like a woman, high heels with a short dress, blah, blah, blah. And the next thing was like, boom, ha, I killed Wami Debi. And we started laughing. My younger brother was there. This is the same guy that wanted to marry a big man's daughter in Lagos.
Wow, okay.
Now, imagine if that man didn't do his investigation.
Yeah.
It's not easy to marry a big man's daughter. They will do their investigation from head to toe, you know. So this thing, it's so many, you know, late 90s when we're just crossing over into the 20s, you know, we will go to club in Lagos. There is a VIP different from the VIP. You enter VIP, you can't enter the other VIP because that VIP is for some selected few. The guys, the gay guys, they do their shit at the other side of that club. So no matter how rich you are, you can't gain entrance. The same thing happened when we were doing modeling back in the days in Lagos. Some of the guys that were doing fashion show, MTN, Billboard, all those things together, you will just discover that some of them were getting bigger jobs. They will go to South Africa. They will go to Italy. How are they getting these jobs? I have tummy packs better than this guy. This one even has tribal mark. How do they get these jobs? Only for us to find out when I got to this country. That was when I understood that, no wonder. So this guy was gay. That guy too was gay. Our agent that was running the agency then was gay. Because when he was teaching us how to catwalk, he would be like, yes, that's it. Your left leg in front, take your stance, blah, 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 you know. So everything started settling in. So if you're there in Lagos and you think this is a new thing, you're just deceiving yourself. A lot of them, a lot of families, even from the time of our parents, their wives were just patching. You know, they were there as a society figure, but deep down in the marriage, even the children know the kind of father they had. So it's not new. It's not new.
Wow.
Let me stop here.
Okay. Now let me come back to the ladies, right? I don't know what's happened to Ajike. But let me come back to Dami, Shade, Sosa. Now I know Dami and Shade, you guys have sort of said, like, you know, knowing what you know now, years ago you probably wouldn't have stood for it, but knowing what you know now, you know, everybody has their preferences. Now, can you imagine yourself being with a man who is your husband, but when the man comes home from work, when you're supposed to kiss him and, you know, do whatnot, but you keep thinking in your head, oh my God, has he been with Kunle in the office? Or has he been with, because then you're thinking, you understand, like, you don't know maybe you do, or you don't know who his partner is. And imagine if the partner works with him at the same office, Maybe they might just go into one room and, you know, give each other oral sex and things like that. And imagine your husband giving another man oral sex and then come home and come and start kissing you. And how would you reconcile that in your head? Shade, let me come to you first.
Right. Like I said, marriage should be, let me start from the beginning. We should communicate more in marriage right now, right? So if at all that was me, you have to believe that we would be talking. I am the kind of person that everything, if you want to wear a skirt, I will ask you, why do you want to wear a skirt now? Is it fashion? Do you like it? What's going on? You need to talk. You need to be with the same person that you are. And that's why it's going to last long. When you're with someone that is opposite to you, if I'm married to them, we'll probably have problems. We will not even last a month, because I like to explore. I like to give people chances. I like to see what you're all about. I want to see, we talk. So it's called growing together. And one person is not going to stay stuck to the 90s and say, I'm stuck in the 90s and this is how I'm going to be. And the other person is moving and changing. And, and that's where problem starts in marriages. So if I've decided to stay in that situation, you have to believe that there's something in it for me, my sweetheart. If it's because of love or the children or like security or finances, there has to be something in it for me. So it's like, it's not just on him that is dropping all the bombs, and I have to accept that. This is where I felt like she should have negotiated more. Telling you, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do that. And you're just sitting down there and you're crying. I know she was heartbroken, and it could be the shock because she saw it. It's the different thing if you told her, this is what I like, before she saw the scene. But everybody, no matter how hardened your heart is, if you catch somebody like that, you will be like, what's going on here? So let me give her that she was shocked. But
so Shade, let me ask you, so with what you've just described as communication, even though there's something in it for you, children, love, security, or whatever, if your husband tells you that, oh, by the way, I want to start wearing skirt, how are you going to take that?
If I don't like it, I'll tell him I don't like it, dude.
Right,
this is going to work. If I like it, I'll be like, what color should I get you? So it's up to you, the woman, what you want. It should not always be about what the man wants. This is what I'm trying to say. Marriage should be partnership. So if it's not working, it's not working. Now, I've always told you, if I'm not happy in a situation, I leave. But if it's something I can close my eyes to, and what I'm trying to say is a lot of women close their eyes to a lot of shit that they don't even come out to say, that we all know. Some people, their husband is sleeping with teenage girls, underage girls, their house help. They won't come and tell you. So for me, his preferences is who he is. He's attracted to men, he's attracted to women. So I might be fascinated with it this month and decide to get out of it next month. I'm like, oh, dude, this is not working for me anymore. We shouldn't be tied to like, okay, overseas, they probably will say, okay, you have to stay married to me for 5 years. I'll give you 5 billion naira. Then you're stuck there for the next 5 years. But it didn't say that. So it's now left for you to say, okay, this is what I want. I can't do this. I can't watch you, or you can't sleep with me anymore. But I will stay married to you for the name of the family. So it's up to you individually, not because what your family wants you to do or what the church or religion wants you. Like, she could not kiss him anymore.
Yeah.
She could not. And I understand that. Some girls will say, when is your next meeting so I can join in? I want to be gang, whatever. Some, people are different. That's what I'm trying to say. So we should work with what we can live with. If she couldn't live with it, she should just leave it. She shouldn't have even gone ahead with him trying to.
Shadi, just with what you've said there, I'm going to just come to Mr. Jags real quick. So, Mr. Jags, you just heard what she said. Some girls might even ask, when is your next meeting? Because I want to be gang, whatever, right? Now,
so
do you think even with a bisexual man that ends up marrying a woman and his wife finds out what he's up to, and the wife says, actually, I want to join you and your partner, do you think the man would allow his male partner to sleep with his wife?
Let me answer
never.
That. Let me answer that.
So from the man, okay.
Did you see the boyfriend, the way he eyed her?
Yeah.
He's the owner of the thing.
He's
the one that is stealing his man, according to her. The way the guy looked at him, you will know that they've been at it for a very long time. She is the third party.
Exactly.
I'm not sure.
Exactly. So
sorry for cutting it.
Well, before we go on, I like to clarify that in that their world, in that their big bubble, there is kings and there is queen. So the husband is the king. The king, they're the giver. The queens are the receivers. So there is no point the husband will start dressing as a woman. Bobrisky is the queen. Do you get? So the guys
What about
that
James
are like
Brown?
this,
The queen.
James Brown is the queen. So the guys that are like this in Lagos, they're always smart looking. Their suit is always baddest. You know, they look sharp. They're pristine. They're like that. So you, even as a man, you see them, you know, give them validation. Like, no, this guy's hot. The women will be all over them, but they're never attracted to women. They will be Mr. Dapper, beard gang. They want to do this, they want to do that. But trust me, they're on the flip side. So you have to understand that part, kings and queens. Then, if you guys remember, there was this lady that was going to get married to an actor in Lagos about a year or two ago. And they were doing all the plans online, shouting, making noise. And all of a sudden, the lady just came out to say, we're no longer getting married.
Is that Alex
Officially
Akubo?
yes, relationship, blah, 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 blah. The person, I never mentioned anybody's name. But I heard from a source that was what the girl found out.
Right.
And that guy's friend as well, that had problem from his own marriage too.
Yeah.
Those things, there is a little bit of relationship into the happenings that happened in both marriages. So there you have it. There you have it. And it's not only those ones. It is so many in the banking industry. We have one of our friends who joined the banking industry, GTB, and in a bid to climb up, he started opening his ass, even though he is not gay. Do you get? So people do so many things. People sacrifice so many things. People seek validation where they don't belong just to, raise their shoulder in the public. So we're in a long, what does the band call it? I've forgotten it. We're in a long thing. We're in a long thing. And the earliest we start accepting what the world is today, the better for our society.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Jags. So let me come to you with this question, okay? So now we know that when she spoke to her pastor about this, the pastor advised her to carry on with the wedding and said they should come for marriage counseling, and also said that they would do deliverance for the guy and he'll be delivered. And I'm sure we've heard it a lot of times when people that are gay or people that are bi will come out and say, or people that are lesbians or whatnot, they will come out and say, you can't cast it out. It is who we are, So what did you think about the pastor? Do you think the pastor was helping? Because she was actually looking for comfort. She was looking for someone to advise her. And do you think the pastor gave her the right advice?
I don't think the pastor gave her right advice at all, because she didn't really need. Anyway, it depends. Like, it was where she was mentally, environmentally, and culturally. All those influences was what made her make those decisions. If I was in Nigeria back in my parents' house, I grew up as a deeper lifer. So imagine how my mom didn't even allow us to wear trousers when we were growing up. So imagine if I grew up there and things like that arises, I run to her because that's only what I know. So the pastor actually was just saying things from this religious point of view, and in his head, I don't want to be the one that will give her advice to leave marriage. You know how they are in Nigeria. Most of these
but she wasn't even married yet.
No, because she was going to get married. I know how if churches, they classify marriage as second to heaven. So I don't want to be the one that will pull that plug for her. I don't want to give her that advice to go away. And there's nothing I see. There's nothing that what God does not exist. There's nothing that's impossible. In his head, he was like, don't worry, bring it to God. I will fix it. But one thing I want to clarify in this whole conversation is, I don't want it to look like we are trying to encourage cheating, because there is cheating, like I said. There is an arrangement in marriage, which isn't cheating, which is really, really strict. If we have boundaries and we have arrangement, Anybody that goes outside the arrangement, then they will have issues. And then there is fantasy and there is sexual orientation. If you fantasize this, because in a way, we are all curious. Our mind is born to be curious. You know, it's only a dead man or a lame person that say, I'm not curious. We are all curious, just like we sometimes we deceive ourselves. Just like we are curious in our mind, that's our sexual. My friend will say, I'm bi-curious. You know, meaning that I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I don't know what my body's going to tell me that I need tomorrow. You know what I mean? But I'm always open to different things.
Okay.
If a man comes and said, I like to have those fantasies being with a man. You know, I have friends that like that, but they don't want to have a relationship with a man, but they want to push that envelope sometimes and see how it feels like. You know, it's a fantasy that they visit. It's not like this is what we're going to be doing all the time. So,
Curiosity.
that's the thing I'm talking about. I cannot go and get married to someone that is a gay, because that would be me setting myself up for failure. You know,
it's different from being a gay. He likes men,
You know what I mean is that I know that some people like men, some people like women. Some people just want to have sex with men. It's not like they want to keep a relationship or they want to start having. They just want to push that. It's like when people say, I'm going to swing, or people will tell you that some men, they like very like you know, I don't want to go into details. You've had
Please go into details, because this is an adult show.
Yeah, what I mean is that we've had a guest here that tell you at what extent that people will go. I remember there was a guest that we saw. Why I know a lot. When I was growing, I remember there was a friend of mine. She wasn't even a friend. She was slightly older, and she was telling me that there was this guy, a married guy, that gives her a lot of money. We were young, like I would say maybe I was like 16. I didn't know. He said he just wanted me to flog him, and he gives me money. And I said, oh my God, he's using your destiny to make, he's using your destiny. Now, I said, imagine if probably that's what he likes, and why somebody that wants to describe that kind of discussion with. Now you are going to spend money to get flogged when I could flog you proper, you know? So
as a wife?
Yeah, people like it. People like pain and extreme. Give them fun, give them pleasure.
It is called sadomasochism.
So when I tell you that
the young girl flogging him, that's his fetish. It's not any woman. He will not pick any woman. There's a particular woman he wants to plug in. That's how they are.
Well, what I'm trying to say is when
sadomasochism, that's what it's called.
Fantasy, whether it's fetish or not, you know, is to what extent, you know, are we going?
So Susan, let me just ask you this question real quick. I think I actually did the same question. So how would you, if this man has said to you, I'm bi and all of that, and you accepted it, you know, you guys got married and whatnot. So are you fine with knowing that he might have just given sex to his partner, to the guy he's sleeping with at work, and now he's come home to kiss you and also do all that? How would that make you feel?
That would actually be ridiculous, because first of all, it is the information that you send to your mind that kind of reflects how you feel. It is if you're at home every day. Bless you, my darling. It's like even your husband that is even straight to you. Do you know if he has actually kissed the secretary or have a blowjob in the office?
Yeah, but that's a girl, but I'm talking about a man.
You will still not accept it. Man or woman, you will not accept it.
You will never accept it, because first of all, it is trust within. Like I said, if he comes, I don't know how I'm going to explain it. If he tells me like, this is what I like to do, that doesn't mean that this is what the life I'm going to be living with you. You know, we have to discuss it, and we have to trust each other enough to know that when we're going to this, if we are going to this thing, we know transparency. I want to know, and I want to trust that within this acceptance and this transparency within our arrangement, nobody goes outside that.
But Susan, regardless of the communication of the arrangements and transparency and all of that, the man is still going to go out there and sleep with the guy, because part of the transparency and communication and arrangement is that you will allow him have his male partner as well, isn't it? Right?
I will allow him have, and I will have to know when he's having this arrangement.
So every time he wants to sleep with the male partner, he will tell you and text you and say, I'm going to do it now.
No, I don't want to know.
But no,
you don't have to know. You don't have to know. Just go enjoy yourself too with a man.
It's me, because I want to know
You
So
want
that
to
you want to
know.
know when you are doing it and when you are not. So that when you're not doing it,